Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Eddie Nketiah filmed back in full training at Arsenal. Arsenal can take one name off their injury list as Eddie Nketiah has been filmed back in full training with the rest of the Gunners squad. The striker has been out of action for over a month with what was described as a nasty injury by Mikel Arteta. But now it looks like he is set to return very soon. It was reported last week by Tom Canton that Nketiah had been doing some running outside, and it looks as though he is still moving in the right direction as he is now joined up with the rest of the team. Arsenal have had their fair share of injury issues as of late, with the likes of William Saliba, Takahiro Tomiyasu, and Mohamed El-Neni out of action, but they can now welcome Nketiah back into the fold. As we enter the business end of the season, Nketiah's return will be a huge boost for Arsenal. After all, the Gunners don't have too much depth in the striking department, and Nketiah knows how to turn up in the big moments. Say what you will about the fantastic strikers all around game, he is a clinical finisher and he doesn't let the big stage affect him. Indeed, he has scored crucial goals against both Manchester United and Chelsea over the past 12 months, and with a game against Manchester City at the Etihad on the horizon, Arsenal will be desperate for their big game player to come up with the goods once again. Of course, the Gunners will be waiting with bated breath to see whether or not Saliba will also be back in action for that game, but with 2 more weeks of recovery ahead of him, the Frenchman could well be fit and ready to face City later this month. Pundit says Granit Xhaka is being treated unfairly now. Gregor Robertson has given his verdict on the Granit Xhaka incident at the weekend. Speaking on the Game podcast, Robertson has actually defended Xhaka, stating that he is being treated unfairly in the wake of his scuffle with Trent Alexander-Arnold. The Swiss midfielder has been accused of costing Arsenal the game after his issue with Alexander-Arnold ignited the Anfield crowd, but Robertson believes that this incident has been overblown due to Xhaka's reputation. Indeed, Robertson says that if this was any player other than Xhaka, this would all blow over. The Pundit gave his verdict on this incident by saying, "I think it's been very overblown personally, the Xhaka incident. Maybe people who were there could feel the crowd better than me, but it didn't have anything to do with the goal that was scored. That's what changed the game. If it was anyone else except for Granit Xhaka, there would be no conversation, but it was Xhaka, and I have been on here plenty of times saying how daft he can be. I just don't think you can say the game turned on that moment." The sad reality is that it's very easy to blame Granit Xhaka here, and not just for this moment. Heading into this game, there was already a narrative surrounding the Anfield crowd against Arsenal after Mikel Arteta's bust up with Jurgen Klopp in this fixture last year, and this incident was incredibly similar. It all worked against Xhaka in this instance, his reputation as a hothead, and the idea that the Liverpool fan base would turn this game made a very easy scapegoat, and it does seem to be a bit unfair to blame him for these dropped points. The £30 million player has been made a scapegoat once again, and he is being unfairly blamed for this result. Pundit baffled by what he has heard being said about Mikel Arteta in last few days, Steve Nicol has defended Mikel Arteta's decision to bring Jakub Kiwior on against Liverpool on Sunday amid backlash against that decision. Speaking on the Hybrid Squad YouTube channel, Nicol came out to bat for the Arsenal manager after he came under scrutiny for making that sub. Many pundits and fans have been critiquing Arteta for bringing Kiwior into such a high-pressure environment as he is barely played since his arrival in January. However, Nicol has said that Arteta made the right call bringing on an extra defender, stating that he can't understand the criticism that is being thrown at Arteta over the past few days. The pundit gave his verdict on the situation by saying, "The first substitution What's his name? Kiwior? Arteta was under incredible pressure and he put on another defender. How can that be seen as a mistake when you are ahead? I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me. What are you going to do? Put another forward on? Who else would you play? Bringing on another defender to protect a lead makes a lot of sense on paper, but sometimes the best form of defense is attack. The Gunners were under the coach when Kiwior came on, but rather than playing with their backs against the walls, Arsenal needed to wrestle back some element of control in this game. In our view, bringing Jorginho on in the situation would have been the right play. He would have calmed the game down and took control of the midfield battle, while Kiwior's addition forced Arsenal to invite pressure and eventually they cracked. Nicol may be baffled by this criticism, but we can understand where these detractors are coming from. Jamie Carragher blast Arsenal star Alexander Zinchenko. Jamie Carragher has criticized the performance of Arsenal star Alexander Zinchenko in the 2-2 draw against Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. The Gunners started the game brilliantly. They completely dominated Liverpool and deservedly went 2-0 up. The host then flipped the game on its head with a brilliant performance and secured a point thanks to goals from Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino. Zinchenko played a big part in Liverpool's equaliser. A point at Anfield is never really a bad result, but Arsenal fans are still disappointed. After going 2-0 up in the game, the Gunners really should have managed it better, but Liverpool were all over them in the second half and were unlucky not to win the game in the end. However, many are wondering what really would have happened if Zinchenko stopped Trent Alexander-Arnold from crossing the ball that led to Firmino's goal in the 87th minute. Carragher had a go at the Ukrainian and even went on to say that Mikel Arteta doesn't fully trust him. He told Sky Sports after the game, as quoted by the Metro, "We have raved about Zinchenko this season and he was brilliant until Liverpool got the equaliser. He is brilliant on the ball but lets them down defensively at the last minute. If Arsenal go back to being a team fighting for the top four, that will be exposed a lot more. It happened in the first game of the season at Crystal Palace where Mikel Arteta brought Tierney on for Zinchenko, and it happened again against Liverpool because he is not trusted 100% defensively. I can't get Zinchenko out of my head. You need to be more aggressive. The league title is on the line. That can't happen. It's almost like he is in training. There has got to be more intensity from him." Nigel Rio-Coker really impressed with Gabriel Jesus. He has become an important leader. Nigel Rio-Coker has praised Arsenal forward Gabriel Jesus for his performance against Liverpool. Analyzing the game on the Football Daily podcast, Rio-Coker highlighted his importance to Mikel Arteta's side. After scoring a brace against Leeds, Jesus found the back of the net again against Liverpool on Sunday. He lost Virgil van Dijk in the box to head home a brilliant cross from Gabriel Martinelli. One BBC Pundit even suggested that the Dutch defender panicked every time the 26-year-old picked up the ball. Gabriel Jesus is Arteta's first choice at centre forward, but the Gunners have dealt so well without him. The signing of Leandro Trossard in particular relieved some of the worries around the club when Jesus was injured at the World Cup. However, Rio-Coker has highlighted some of Jesus' strengths that don't just come on the pitch for Arsenal. His education under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City could end up being what sinks his old club. Asked about the impact of the forward at the Emirates, Rio-Coker said, "Yeah, he's been sensational. He's got that pedigree. He knows what it takes to win titles. He's done it with Manchester City. He's one of those players, no matter what, as long as he is on the pitch. At Arsenal, he has such an influence, and it's not just what he brings in the hard work that he does up front and brings the team up with his ability to make goals and score goals, but it's just his presence. He has really got a leadership role about him as well in the team. and he makes a big difference. The £45 million forward wasn't cheap but already looks like he is worthy every penny to Mikel Arteta. He is a potent finisher but expertly leads the press from the front, which is an important aspect of Arsenal's tactics. Jesus has hit form at the perfect time for Arsenal, and Rio Coker believes his winning experience could make all the difference. Arsenal need to return to winning ways against West Ham next Sunday. David Moyes' side are fighting for their lives in the Premier League and won't be an easy test for the Gunners. Arsenal monitoring €25 million Bundesliga talent ahead of the summer window. Arsenal are reportedly interested in signing the Bayern München midfielder Ryan Gravenberch at the end of the season. The 20-year-old has had a difficult time at the German club and he has struggled to hold on to a regular starting spot this season. The talented young defensive midfielder has started just once in the Bundesliga and twice in the Champions League for Bayern München so far, and he needs to leave the club in order to play regularly. According to journalist Florian Plattenberg, Arsenal are keeping tabs on the midfielder situation and they could look to make a move for him at the end of the season. He adds that Gravenberch is likely to get more game time at the North London club next season. Arsenal could certainly use a player like him alongside Thomas Partey, and he could prove to be a solid long-term acquisition. Gravenberch was regarded as a world-class talent when he joined Bayern München. His development has stalled due to the lack of playing time. A move to Arsenal could help him get his career back on track. Mikel Arteta has helped players like Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli develop with regular playing time at Arsenal, and the two players have been exceptional in their title push so far this season. Arteta could have a similar influence on the career of Gravenberch. The talented youngster can operate as a central midfielder as well as a defensive midfielder, and he will add some much needed defensive cover, composure, and control to the Arsenal midfield. The German club paid €25 million for the talented youngster, and they will be looking to recoup most of it if Arsenal comes calling in the summer. Edu promises a Brazilian club, Arsenal, will bid for Matheus Gonçalves. Arsenal are said to be interested in signing Flamengo's talented young Brazilian winger Matheus Gonçalves this summer. The Gunners have been excellent on the transfer market in recent years. They haven't just signed players who are ready for the first team, but they have also brought in a few young gems. Gonçalves, who is still just 17 years old, could be the next one. Arsenal have a big advantage in the Brazilian football market thanks to Edu Gaspar. The Arsenal sporting director knows all the important people at clubs back in his home country, and that gives Arsenal an edge over many other English clubs in the race to sign talented youngsters. Gabriel Martinelli was brought in a few years ago and he has become a superstar. Young Marquinhos came in last summer and he looks like a very exciting talent as well. Now Arsenal have set their sights on young Gonçalves, who is regarded by many as one of the finest young players in Brazil at the moment. Jorge Nicola revealed on his YouTube channel that Arsenal are keeping an eye on Gonçalves and have promised Flamengo they will make a bid for him in the coming days. The journalist further claimed that Arsenal want to bring Gonçalves to England as soon as possible. The youngster will turn 18 this August and is protected by a release clause worth €100 million. Arsenal's stance on signing Sergei Milinkovic-Savic if they win the Premier League. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move to sign Sergei Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio this summer. The Gunners are almost guaranteed to sign at least one new midfielder before the start of next season. It's their priority, and they have been linked with plenty of top names who play in the middle of the park. Milinkovic-Savic, who will enter the final year of his contract in July, is one of them. Gazzetta dello Sport have once again linked Milinkovic-Savic with a move to Arsenal this week. The Serbian will have just 12 months left on his contract this summer. There is no indication that he will extend his deal with Lazio, and that has made him a wanted man. Arsenal have been linked with a move to sign Milinkovic-Savic for a while now. Reports revealed they made him an offer last summer, but the midfielder rejected the move. Now, however, he is apparently ready to join them. The report this week claims that Arsenal want to sign Milinkovic-Savic as a gift to themselves if they end the season as the Premier League champions. However, the Gunners are set to face competition from AC Milan, Juventus, Newcastle, and West Ham United for his signature in the summer's transfer window. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.